Good evening, Rav.
Good evening, everyone. How's it? How are you, everyone?
I'm fine, thank you. I hope you're feeling well.
Baruch Hashem, and you, Louis,
Also,
how are you?
we just carry on regardless. Carry on regardless, you know me.
We have to, huh? We have to, yeah. Is everyone well? How's the kids in Israel?
Wonderful.
Good.
Hello, Rob.
Hello.
How are you, Rob?
How are you, Mark? Hello.
Baruch Hashem.
Hello, Rabbi.
Hello, Janet. How's it, everyone? Nice
Hello,
to see you. Liz, how's it?
It's good to see you.
It's good to see you and to hear you guys. It's beautiful to hear you and to see you. So I decided today, because we explain, I wanted to give a break between shiur and shiur. It also give me a chance to prepare also for Shabbos, to go over the material that I prepare for Shabbos. But I decided to make the show like this. The way that I structured the show today, I structure it in a way that, number one, I'm going to bring the history. When is the story of Chanukah happen? Then I'm going to go to explain what caused all the situation, and then the decree of the...
When you bring some bread, I'll have bread with it as well. That's fine, no problem. So when you finished?
I'm going to mute everyone. Okay, so I mute everyone, so there's no problem. Sorry. So we're going to go through the decrees of the Greek. Number two, we're going to go, there is any hint that the Torah speak about Hanukkah. And today we'll find that there is a hint from the Torah. There is a secret that the Torah revealed to us that we will celebrate Hanukkah. Okay, then why is the festival called Hanukkah? Then why are we celebrating 8 days of Hanukkah? And if we'll have time, we'll go through some of the halachot that the Moran Shulchan Aruch wrote that we should do in Hanukkah. But Be'ezrat Hashem, na'aseh v'natzliach ve'Hashem alenu berachamav yarviach. I would like to dedicate the show for the following people: Leilui Nishmat Harav Avraham Haim Ben Eliezer Yaakov, that's Rabbi Tenza. Leilui Nishmat Esther Bat Kaden. Leilui Nishmat Mordechai Ben Rahma ve'Esther Bat Moshe Levy. Lerfuat Menashe Naji Ben Farha, Liora Bat Miriam, Hefziba Hana Bat Sarah Imenu, Golda Ito בת שולמית לאה, הרב אברהם בן מרינה, הרב שלמה יהודה בן דליה. Please God, רפואה שלמה to him and to all the sick people all over the world. So בעזרת השם נעשה ונצליח והשם עלינו ברחמיו ירוויח. In the year 3621 for the creation, that means 2160 years ago, that was during the time of the Second Temple, when the coup of the Hashmonaim against the empire of the Greek started. Now we have to understand what's happening here. The Greek empire was in a control, almost controlled the entire world, the Greek empire. That means that most of the country was underneath the authority, and part of that was also Eretz Israel. Eretz Israel was in that time underneath the authority of the Greek Empire. Who started the coup against the Greek? Not many people know that the starting of the coup was the daughter of Matityahu Kohen Gadol. What was her name? Her name was Hannah. In Otzar HaMitrashim, in page 185, there they reveal to us that the daughter of Matityahu Kohen Gadol, her name was Hannah. What happened? How did she start the coup? We have to understand. So she was supposed to get married. She was the Kala, And she was supposed to get married from another family to a family from the Hashmonaim, because in those days, the Kohanim used to marry to very high level people, and the Hashmonaim have a son, and Matityahu Kohen Gadol wanted to marry his daughter to a member of the Hashmonaim. So the night before the wedding, you know, it was, Hazal tell us in a Gemara in Masechet Shabbat in page 23, folio 1, Rashi bring it, and also the Rambam bring it in Ilchot Chanukah. They bring that it was a custom that the Greek make a decree that the Egmon, it was the mayor of the city, that the mayor of the city, the night before the wedding, it's called the first night. The name of that, Hazal call it the first night. What did they used to do? The woman that's supposed to get married, she have to spend the night with the mayor before she get married. That was the decree that they put. So what happened? When the two families met to discuss, to talk, to meet, Hannah, the daughter of Matityahu Kohen Gadol, decided to take the opportunity. And while everyone was talking and it was tumult and happiness, she clapped hands. That means that she wanted to draw the attention of everyone. And she managed. And suddenly it was quiet and everyone looked at her, and she done the strangest thing, Rabotai. The Midrash tell us. She started tearing her clothes in front of everyone, in front of her father, the brothers, her mother, in front of the in-laws, the new Hatan. People couldn't understand. She's tearing her clothes. The brother stood up and immediately, start shouting, "Aren't you embarrassed? What are you doing?" And she said to him, "You telling me that I'm embarrassing you? Aren't you ashamed? I must be shamed for my act. Aren't you people shamed? You know that tomorrow night I'm going to spend the night with the mayor. And what are you people doing? That doesn't affecting you? Doesn't mean nothing to you?" And Hazal say in the Midrash that the coin drop off. Suddenly, the penny drop. And they start to understand what they're doing to Bnot Israel. So what did they decide? Matityahu Kohen Gadol decide that he gonna start a war against the Greek. And him and the children of the Hashmonaim together, there was only 16 people. Just to stop here for a second, just for us to understand, to give us a bit of a understanding what's happening. These 16 people going against the greatest empire in the world to fight with no weapon, no ammunition, nothing. Imagine 16 people going to fight United States of America, USA. What is the chances? They have the airplane, they have the ships. Well, you have no chance. Adon Matityahu, Hazal said, took a sword. And on the sword, Matityahu Kohen Gadol wrote on it the holy name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And they started the coup slowly, Hazal said. And that war against the Greek, Rabotai, took 3 years. That means the war of the Hashmonaim until they managed to get rid of the Greek Empire from Eretz Israel took 3 years. Not less than 3 years. Not like many people think that the Ness of Chanukah was only 8 days and then we found a jar of oil and we light the menorah. Not at all. It didn't took quick. It took 3 years. Because at the beginning, they start with 16 men. Later on, people joined them. It was extra force. They managed to achieve some sword, some bow and arrow to help them to fight the Greek. After 3 years of a war, the Midrashim tell us that the Greek left Eretz Israel, okay? And then Hazal constitute for us to light the menorah for 8 days. From the 25th of Kislev, remember the 25th, 25th of Kislev, until the 2nd of Tevet. And that was the 8 days. Now, that's really, I try to summarize it really very, very briefly for us to understand the history, what's happened. Now we have to understand what's happened, why it was so terrible when the Greek was in Eretz Israel. The Greek put 3 main decrees on the Jewish people. The first decree that the Greek put, that the Jewish people should not keep Shabbat. The second one, that they should not keep the mitzvah of the Chodesh, that means blessing of the moon, and we'll explain why. And the third mitzvah was not to do Brit Milah, circumcision. And we'll explain what was the idea behind it. Hazal explained that the Greek Empire knew that if they gonna put those 3 decrees on the Jewish people, the Jewish people are gonna start losing their identity. How come? Because they know that Shabbat is a covenant between the Jewish people and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And if they're gonna break that covenant, if they're gonna manage to crack that covenant between us and HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we have no chance to win anything against them. We're gonna be in slavery against them. Number 2, they knew that the identity of the Jewish people being built on Shabbat. The same of the Brit Milah. We're different from all the other nations by that we are having a Brit Milah, circumcision. The second one that we have to understand what's so important, it was the blessing of the moon. Why did they want us not to celebrate the blessing of the moon? Because they knew if the Jewish people were not gonna count the moon, they're gonna lose, number 1, the identity as a Jewish religion and to the festival. We wouldn't know when is Rosh Hashanah, when is Yom Kippur, Pesach, Shavuot, when is Sukkot, and etc. So what did they try to do to cancel it? So Hazal explained that what was the secret behind it, that they wanted us to do anything to stop us from celebrating those festivals. So how are they gonna do it? By canceling counting of the moon. By that, if we're not counting the moon, we will never know when is the festival fall. Not only that, there's another secret behind it. They wanted to stop the family purity, because we know that when a woman has to go to the mikvah, she has to count certain days, these Yemei Haflaga, Yemei HaChodesh, and it all have to work according to the Jewish calendar. So if they're gonna cancel the Jewish calendar, the purity of the Jewish family gonna fall down. Those was the idea behind them putting those difficult decrees on the Jewish people. And they knew if they're gonna succeed, the Jewish identity gonna be wiped off. That means Jewish people will not have any identity. They wouldn't know when to celebrate their festival. They're not gonna have the covenant with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They're not gonna have a Brit Milah. They're gonna be like everyone else. And that's what they wanted behind those 3 decrees. Now, let's move a bit further. We know that Chanukah, it's a festival that constitute by our sages. It's not from the Torah. And the Torah doesn't mention that festival. But the Mefarshim explain to us that it is mentioned in the Torah, but it's hinting to us. Where is it hinting? In the book of Bereshit that we're reading, in the first Parsha, in Parashat Bereshit, Hazal tell us, if you look at the book of Bereshit, the Parsha of Bereshit, if you count the first 25 letters, Bereshit, bara, Elokim, et hashamayim, ve'et haaretz, the word 25 gonna fall on a word or. What does it mean? There it says, Vayera Elokim et ha'or. The word 25 gonna fall on or. And the Mefarshim explain that HaKadosh Baruch Hu hinting to us that on a 25 in the future, on a day 25 of Kislev, you're gonna celebrate a festival that called Or. What is Or? Chanukah. That you're gonna light the light of the menorah. That means it's already hinting to us from the Torah that on the 25th of Kislev, because the word Or on the Torah fall on number 25, from the beginning of the Torah, the word Or will be number 25. So from here we see that HaKadosh Baruch Hu already hinting to us and the beginning of the creation that we'll have a festival that it's called light, and that's going to be Chanukah, that on the 25th of Kislev, we're going to put light in our house. And if we'll have time, please God, we'll go also through that halacha, what's so significant about it. Why is it called Chanukah? Many of the people know that Chanukah is a festival, but did you ask yourself, why did they call it Chanukah? So I'm going to bring two commentaries. There's many more, but I'm going to bring two main commentary that most of the Mefarshim speak about it. The first commentary is the commentary of the Tur. The Tur is Rabbi Yaakov Baal HaTurim. He born 751 years ago in Germany. And he explained that the main reason that that festival called Chanukah, that if you take the word Chanukah and you split it to two, the first word that you're gonna get, Hanu. What it mean, Hanu? Hanu, it mean rested. And then the second thing that you're gonna get, Ka, Gematria, Kaf, and Hey, 25. That's mean, he explained, Rabbi Yaakov Baal HaTurim, on the 25th of Kislev, the Jewish people rested, okay, from the enemy, from the Greek Empire, because until then, the Greek used to put decrees on the Jewish people that it was so terrible. So, say Rabbi Yaakov Baal HaTurim, take the word Chanukah, split it to two, and you get two different words. One is Hanu, to rest. Number two is 25, the gematria of 25. That means on the 25th of Kislev, that's when the Jewish people actually managed to rest from those difficult decrees of the Greek Empire. The Maharsha was Rabbi Shmuel Idlish. Rabbi Shmuel Idlish, born in Poland next to the city of Krakow, he born 465 years ago. If you look, the Maharsha, his name is Rabbi Shmuel Idlish. It's a woman name. Why? Because Idlish, it's Idol. Idol is a woman name. Why did they call him Idol? Briefly, I'm going to explain, and then I'll say what he says regarding why is it called Chanukah. Hazal explained, the Mefarshim explained, you know what they call him Idlish? Because when he married his wife, the mother-in-law took on herself one thing, that he doesn't have to work because he was the rabbi of the city. Number two, she took on herself that every lunch, no matter what's going to happen, she's going to cook it for him. And she was a big businesswoman. That's how she managed to support him. And the Mefarshim explained, in that marriage, they call him Idlish. There's other explanation that she was a midwife. And one time, when the baby came, he put the mother in danger. And the mother-in-law of the Maharsha decided that she's not gonna take risk because it's a risking of the mother. and they killed the baby. And at night, they came to a dream, and she said, you murdered a person. You murdered a human being. Your punishment is dead. And she says to them, but we know that there is sakanat hayim, that was a danger to the mother. And if a person put other people in danger, you kill him. And they said to him, but you know who you killed? Maybe you killed the great child that might be one day going to be so great, the same like your son-in-law. He saw if a person is so great and he want to kill his mother, he can't be so great. And then she got sick, and then it's explanation that the Maharsha he make a verdict. He say, I'm the bed din here on earth, and there's bed din on heaven, and our verdict that she herself, she's not guilty, and she gonna live. And Baruch Hashem, after that, she came back and she was alive. And that's why they call him Idlish, Rabbi Shmuel Idlish on her. So he wrote commentary on a Gemara Masechet Shabbat. Masechet Shabbat speak not only about the halachot of Shabbat, they speak also a little bit about the halachot of Chanukah. And in page 21, in Gemara Masechet Shabbat, page 21, folio 2, there the Maharsha explained something extraordinary. You know why they call it Chanukah? He said, because on the 25th of Kislev, okay, the Jewish people during the time of the Hashmonaim started the inauguration of the altar. That means that inaugurating is Chanukah. So he said, you know why is it called Chanukah? Because on the 25th of Kislev, when the Hashmonaim, in the time of the Hashmonaim, they started Chanukat HaMizbeach to inaugurate the altar. And that's why they call Chanukah, because it's called Chanukat HaMizbeach. Therefore, they call that festival Chanukah, in the name of inaugurating what? The altar. So that's why it's called Chanukah, 2 ideas. Now we come into the second thing that we ask. Why dafka 8 days? Why dafka 8 days? This question, the Maran Shulchan Aruch, Rabbi Yosef Karo, that born in the city of Toledo 532 years ago, Toledo is in Spain. He asked in the Shulchan Aruch, how come that we're celebrating 8 days? I don't understand. Nachon that the miracle was for 8 days, but as a matter of fact, it wasn't. It was supposed to be only for 7 days. Why? Because the oil that they found was as is enough for 1 day. So that means that the miracle for 7 days. So how come that we're celebrating 8 days? So he explained like this. He said, the Jewish people, number one, needed oil. They have only one job. So how are they going to get oil? How are they going to manage to get oil? So he explained like this. The olive tree was in the north of Israel, in a portion of Asher. And that's what we see, Me'asher Shamen Lahma. That means that the blessing that Yaakov Avinu given to Asher, that his blessing gonna be only from oil. So what happened? He explained 3 days to go to the north and 3 days to come back. It's already 6 days. He said 1 day it takes to make enough oil. That's me. The 3 days walking, 3 days coming back. 1 day is to crush the olive and to make olive oil. So he said that's 7 days. He said plus the 1 day, that's 8. So from here you see why we're celebrating 8 days. Other explanation that I saw, a beautiful explanation why dafka 8 days. So the Mefarshim explained like this. One of the most difficult decree that the Greek people put on the Jewish people is not to do Brit Milah, not to do circumcision. Although that they put it on the Jewish people, what's happened? The Jewish people used to do circumcision, but in hiding, like we know about Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, that they found out that Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, that wrote all Torah Shebe'al Peh, all the Mishnayot, that his parents circumcised him, that done Brit Milah to him. And they called them to bring it. And when they wanted to go, the mother of Yehuda Nasi took him because she was obligated. Who saw it? The mother of Antoninos. The mother of Antoninos told her, listen, Vachabiki, bring your son, take my son. Otherwise, they're going to kill your son. And she took Antoninos and she gone to the Greek Empire. And when they saw that he's not circumcised, they didn't know that's not her son. So we see from here that during that time, the Jewish people sacrificed anything to do Brit Milah, but they couldn't do it in public. The Mefarshim say, you know why is it called Chanukah? And why Dafka we lighting 8 days like this? Because after the Greek being chased away by the Hashmonaim and they left Eretz Israel, they returned back to do Brit Milah, but now they're doing it on public. And because they're doing it on public, on the 8 days, that's why we're lighting the menorah, to show the light that come back for 8 days. Other explanation why Dafka 8 days, we have to understand that the Mefarshim explain, number one, when the Jewish people fight against the Greek, there was Tme'emitim. What it means, Tme'emet? That when they fight, they kill people. And the Kohen Gadol, or the Kohanim, that have to serve in Bet HaMikdash, they have to purify themselves. So it takes 7 days that they have to serve to become pure, and only on the 8 days they can serve. So we see from here that it takes 8 days. 7 days, they take them to get pure, and only on the 8 days that they can serve. That's why we're celebrating 8 days. Other explanation why Dafka that, the Mefarshim bring another commentary why Dafka 8 days. Because when the Greek gone and destroyed everything inside Bet HaMikdash, they contaminated the vessel of Bet HaMikdash. And those vessels, you need to purify them because they was holy. And it took 7 days to purify them and to prepare everything. That means the vessel, the Mizbeach, the altar, like we say, that the inauguration was on Kafhei Kislev, that means on the 25th. That means that it took him 8 days to prepare all of those vessels and to prepare the altar that they can start serving again in Bet HaMikdash. So we see from here something extraordinary, that the number 8, not for nothing, it just happened. By the way, Hazal explained to us, and here come the mystical rabbi. The mystical rabbi explained in Kabbalistic terms that number 8 is something that we don't understand. And if you look the way that we write 8 is 20. That means it's all circle. What does it mean? We have 6 days a week, so that's working day. The 7th day of the week, it's Shabbat, that speak about Olam Haba. The 8 days that we speak in, that's become completely a different thing. Hazal explained that's not Olam Haba, that's what's come after Olam Haba. What's coming after Olam Haba? It's become the world of the soul. We don't understand what is it. I'm just speaking, I don't know what I'm talking, but what does it mean, the word of the soul? It's not gonna be any more bodies. That means in 8,000 years for the creation, it's gonna be a world that only soul, there's no body. We don't understand what is it. I'm just trying to explain to you that the number 8 is something above nature, above even Shabbat, that's the 7. And the 7 means the 7,000 years. That's referring to Olam Haba. The world that the tzaddikim and those that done mitzvot and all the Jewish, because the Kol Yisrael Shlaim Helek LaOlam Haba, going to merit from Olam Haba, to enjoy Olam Haba. But the 8th is after the 7th. After, in the end of the 7,000, we'll start the 8,000 years that we don't understand whatever. It's a world that there is nobody, only soul. And we're all going to sit around HaKadosh Baruch Hu, around the great tzaddikim that was, and we're going to listen to great Torah and to understand the deepest meaning of the Torah. Now, one of the mitzvot that we have in Chanukah that the Maran Shulchan Aruch tell us, the Maran Shulchan Aruch tell us in Siman Taf Resh Ayin, that means 670. In chapter 670 in the Shulchan Aruch, he tells us that in Chanukah we're not allowed to say Tahanun, we're not allowed to do Hesped, we're not allowed to cry. And why is it so important? So Hazal explained, the mystical Rabbi explained, that Chanukah is a festival of joy and happiness. And Chas v'Shalom, if people cry on that festival, they give energy, they give extra energy to the evil forces. So what is our main job in Chanukah? To be happy and to be in joy. To enjoy the festival. And Hazal tell us another secret. If you take the word nerot, nerot, it's in Hebrew. If you want to understand what is nerot, if some of you doesn't understand what the word nerot means, it means candles. He say if you take the word nerot and you turn around the letters, you'll get the word vatran. Vatran, it means a person that should be very lenient. And Hazal tell us some very important thing regarding the festival of Chanukah. That in Chanukah, we should remember that it's a festival of joy and happiness. And because it's joy and happiness, people should be more lenient. What it means lenient? They should not be cross with other people. By that if some Chas v'Shalom, someone done something wrong to you, instead of getting cross and getting into panic, rather be lenient. Let it go. Badil v'yavo. Let it pass like nothing happened. He say in the merit of that the person doesn't get cross and doesn't get upset, okay, he's going to be in happiness. And if we all going to be in happiness, please God, we should merit that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will build Bet HaMikdash and will see the light of the menorah in our eyes speedily in our day. Amen ken yeh ratzon. If you have any question, Be'ezrat Hashem, I try to answer. So those of you that have any question, please unmute yourself and I try to answer. No question. Okay, if there is no question, Rabotai, we're going to be Be'ezrat Hashem.
Hello, Rabbi.
Yes.
It's Anthony here. How are you?
Baruch Hashem, Anthony. It's so nice to hear you.
Nice to hear from you. I've got two quick questions. First of all, why don't we say Musaf on Chanukah? And the second question is, you said Masechet Shabbos has other things in it like Chanukah. Why does Masechet Shabbos not only have Shabbos-related things in it and have other subjects in it?
Because if you look, we have Masechet Psachim. Masechet Psachim speak about Pesach. Masechet Yoma speak about Yom Kippur. Masechet Rosh Hashanah speak about Rosh Hashanah. What's left to speak about Chanukah? And it speak about candles. Candles, not only we light the candles of Hanukkah, we light also candles on Shabbat. So they're one related to each other. And Hazal tell us, very important, Hazal tell us, listen to that. Hazal tell us like this. Hazal tell us that there is a remedy that that if a person wants to have blessing to his kids, he should light Chanukah on candles. What it mean light Chanukah on candle? Everyone light. No. He said when you light a decent light, what it mean a decent light? That mean a beautiful light of Hanukkah. That means that the flame is beautiful. You will be blessed to have children that they Talmidei Chachamim and children that will behave very well, that will have manner. Now, for your first question, you ask, why do we say Hallel in?
Why don't we say Musaf on Chanukah?
Why don't we say Musaf on Hanukkah? Because Musaf, we don't say, because we say Hallel Gamur. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, full Hallel.
Okay, a full Hallel.
Full Hallel.
Why we say full Hallel? That's what you must ask. Be'ezrat Hashem, I will explain it because I'm planning to make a shiur next week, because next week is also going to be Hanukkah. So Be'ezrat Hashem, maybe next Tuesday, I'll do another shiur on Hanukkah, because next Sunday we'll finish the book of Yoshua. And Be'ezrat Hashem, next Tuesday, bli neder, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will give me enough energy and enough health that I can sit and write more shiurim to explain, for example, why do we say full Hallel? Okay, we have to understand, why do we say Hallel? Okay, and why do we read the Parshiyot of Nesi'im Dafka? Why Dafka Hallel Shalem?
Because even normally Rosh Chodesh we say half Hallel, and Rosh Chodesh Chanukah we say full Hallel.
That's Be'ezrat Hashem what we're going to prepare to try to explain Be'ezrat Hashem next Tuesday. Any other question regarding Hanukkah? I hope that you enjoy the shiur, Rabotai, and that will bring us, when we come on Thursday night, Hanukkah, we'll understand why we're lighting the menorah, why Dafka 8 days, what was the decrees behind it, what was the main idea of the Greek to do to the Jewish. So when you sit in the front of the Hanukkah candles, I hope that you will enjoy the light. So I suggested, Rabota, if it's all okay by all of you, that we can enjoy the Hanukkah when we light with our families and we're not going to be in a rush. If it's possible, I want you all to agree to it, that if we could start the shiur a little bit later on Thursday, I know that the shiur take at least, sometimes take even 75 minutes, 60 to 75 minutes. I know that it's long, but I'm trying to summarize all the Parsha in an hour and a quarter, and to explain it in 4 different ways, the Pardes, Pshat, Draso. So if it's okay with all of you, if we can start the shiur on Thursday night a bit later, so we can all enjoy the Hanukkah, the first night of Hanukkah with our family. So I would suggest if we can start at 8, between 8:15 or 8:30, whatever is you to all of you, so you can enjoy the grandchildren, you can enjoy the Hanukkah. So if it's okay with
Can we do 8:30, Rav?
I'm okay with that. I would prefer 8:30. Anyone have any objection? If anyone have any objection, just say it. Unmute yourself and say. No one has objection. So it will be on 8:30 on Thursday night. So we can all celebrate the first night of Hanukkah with our family, with our children, with our grandchildren, and then we can also study and prepare ourselves for the Parshat HaShavua, if it's okay with all of you.
Thank you, Rav. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Les. Thank you very much, Stephen. Who else with us? Gabriel, I see Adrian with us. Itzhak, thank you for joining us. Ivan,
Louis still here.
Louis is still here. Leonard is with us.
Gordon wants to say something. Sorry, Rabbi.
Yes. Who want to ask questions?
Gordon.
Gordon, hello, Mr. Gordon.
Yes, I just want to wish you happy Chanukah. And I thought that we light the candles for 8 days because one jar of oil lasted for 8 days.
Yeah, but beside that, we brought other ideas. What? You follow, Gordon. And thank you very much for your wishes. And I would like to take the opportunity to wish all of you, Rabotai, Chanukah Sameach, healthy, keep yourself health and well, please God. And we'll meet all together, Be'ezrat Hashem, on Thursday night, on the first night of Hanukkah. Until then, have a good night. Keep safe, keep well. All the best, everyone.
Thanks, Rob.
All the best.
All the best.
All the best. Thanks, Rob. Okay.